Console war, an internet sensation in which squealing children and vitamin gummy addicted teenagers argue about a box that does something. You see, the 2013 console war consisted of the main PS4 and Xbox One, which has divided our gamers into two factions of blue and green. But besides all the biased opinions and squealing children, what console is actually better? We're going to be exploring that today, and that's what's today's big question for the video. Which is better, PlayStation 4 or Xbox One? We're going to be using some heavy research and heavy information to be able to give a crown to our beloved console. But we're also going to be including the console, the Wii U, as it was also made near 2013, and also because I don't want Nintendo finding where I live. Now before we get to the big questions, let's get some minor information out of the way that's still somewhat important. Let's start up with some basic information. First up, the Wii U. The Wii U was released to the public on November the 18th, 2012, starting in North America, specifically the United States and moving further onwards, which Japan on December the 8th, 2012 followed suit. Now for the inspiration of the Wii U, it's kind of complicated, so let me explain in a way that everyone can understand. Hey sir, so we're nearly done with the new Wii console, and yeah, we're calling it the Wii U, but we don't know what to change about it exactly. We put a U at the end of it, but we haven't really done anything, so you got any ideas, Mr. Boss Man? Yeah, give it one of those iPad things. Yeah, those kids like that, don't they? Those iPads. And surprisingly, it kinda worked. You see, when the Wii U was released to the public, some people were satisfied, and some people were extremely angered, and they set the fire to the Wii U, especially on the internet and on the media. Which the media would say that the Wii U was one of the worst selling consoles ever by Nintendo, which then YouTubers would follow by making videos of why it's such a failure. Now, a person who really liked the Wii and still has a Wii U to this day, I think I can understand why people didn't really like it that much. I think the reason why people didn't like the Wii U is because it felt so recycled. So recycled, in fact, that people actually thought that the Wii U was an add-on to the Wii, as the controller, the touchpad, was just an add-on. And when people found out that it wasn't, some people weren't too happy. After all, it was just a more expensive Wii with the only major difference being a touchpad. The Wii U also came with a lot of problems, such as the controller just not working entirely, internet connections being very poor, and that it wouldn't charge at all. Now you'd think that on the sales side it'll do pretty good, right? Well, not really. See, in 2017, Wii U reported to have a total of 13.56 million units sold. Now that might seem pretty good, but compared to the Wii, it could not stand at all, with its whopping 101.63 million units. This was a major failure to Nintendo, and soon enough the Wii U was discontinued, and could only be purchased in Nintendo's website. Okay, yes, the Wii U must seem like a total failure, but it didn't fail in one category, and that was its purpose. The purpose of the Wii U was to entertain more than one person under one roof, and I think it did an excellent job. Alongside that, it played some pretty good games such as Mario Kart 8 and Deluxe, Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U, the old school yet somewhat popular Splatoon, and even most of the series of Just Dance. The next console up is the Xbox One. The Xbox One was released to the public first starting in North America on November the 22nd. The Xbox One had a reported of 45.8 million units sold. Now that's not half bad, but compared to the Xbox 360, it had a total of 85.8 million units sold. But it still put up a pretty good fight. So good job. Well, kind of. The Xbox One will soon be released by the Xbox One S, then X, and now soon enough the Xbox X series is out. Even though really good on the market side, didn't mean it didn't come with any problems. You see, the Xbox One was reported to be freezing quite often and that the controllers sometimes just didn't work. Xbox Live was so relied on that if it ever shut down or if it ever glitched out, then the world would go into hell. The updates would also be kind of buggy. Though the Xbox One was home to some pretty good games, such as Forza Motorsport 6, or just the Forza series in general, Call of Duty, including games such as Call of Duty Black Ops 1, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Blaze, or known Battlegrounds for the Xbox, which in fact was first exclusive for the PC and the Xbox. But there's one game that Xbox players should know. A game that would go on to make 5 other major titles. A game that would start a war of red and blue. And speaking of blue, the last console we're going to be talking about is the PS4. On November the 15th, North America was gifted by Sony a console, known as the PS4, which Sony would gift it in Europe in November the 28th, and Japan would get it on February the 22nd, 2014. But little did Sony know that the PlayStation 4 would peak, sell so many PS4s that they would reach a whopping 102.8 million sales. Now that's a big achievement by Sony, and even doing good against its previous console, the PS3, with a total of 87.4 million units. But even doing really good on the market side, it definitely wasn't the perfect console. You see, PS players have seen that it's caused a lot of freezing since it was a powerful console. This caused a lot of overheating and the internet connections being slow. Minor issues such as the controller quality, as like the analog stick's rubber was very poor. Now we've done some backstory of our 3 consoles, let's get to the big question. The question for our beloved kings of 2013. Let's get to some of the juicy stuff. We're going to test our 3 consoles in 5 categories. Specs, backwards compatibility, controllers, extra features, and finally online play. These will determine a winner. Well, let's get started. First up, the Xbox One. The Xbox One comes with an AMD 8-core custom CPU running at a 1.75 GHz, also running at a peak 1.31 teraflops GPU. Now that might seem a bit complicated or not make sense at all, but just stick with me for now. What this basically says is that the Xbox One does a pretty good job. But this doesn't mean that PS4 doesn't put up a tough fight, as the PS4 runs on an x86 CPU running at a 1.6 GHz. This falls short of Xbox One's 1.75, but redeems itself with its 1.8 teraflops GPU. But if we conclude our Wii U, which runs at a 1.2 GHz running on a tri-core IBM processor which runs at a 0.352 teraflops, well, it barely puts up a fight, to be honest. In fact, it actually does worse than the Xbox and the PS4. Well, this gives the Wii U a 0. Now, to determine a winner between PS4 and Xbox in the specs department, it's going to be very difficult, but if we compare it very closely, the PS4 comes on top with its 1.8 teraflops GPU. So, that's the end of the specs category, which PS4 comes on top with 2 and the Xbox with 1. Now unfortunately, PS4 has no backwards compatibility. Even though having the choice of PSN with subscriptions, it still is a break in the leg for PS4. The Xbox One, on the other hand, has backwards compatibility, with allowing you to play Xbox 360 games and even Xbox, and allowing you to play Xbox 360 discs. This can date back to games such as Counter-Strike and even Halo 2. But the Wii U comes on top in this category, as it even has the option to switch to the previous Wii theme, and even playing games from the Wii to the NES. You know, the gods of OG consoles. And you know, the console that your dad tells you about when he was a little kid? You know what, son? Back in my day, I used to play something called the NES. Oh, wow, yeah, that sounds pretty alright. Yeah, it was like a brick. It looked like one of these things. Okay, Dad, I knew you were a boomer, but you didn't have to tell me, mate. In result, the Wii U gets a 2, the Xbox gets another 1, and PS4 with a shaming 0, barely putting up a fight. Now yes, this is a preference category, but we're going to compare this between the previous consoles and this console. Starting with the PS4, with its new DualShock 4 from its previous DualShock 3 or the PS3 controller, it has new and improved speakers and buzzers and vibrations, and even an integrated touchpad. Now, where it stumbles is its battery life with only 4 to 8 hours of play, which for gamers is a kick in the ass. The Xbox One controller, on the other hand, have improved impulse triggers and improved analog sticks and other minor changes from the previous controller. Though what it defies it from the PS4 controller is that it has up to 30 hours of gaming. This is because it runs on AA batteries. Even having the option to the Xbox One Elite controller version 1, this puts a good sign on Xbox One at this category. Though the PS4 is saved from the shaming zero, as the Wii U has no originality from its previous Wii, the only difference being a gamepad, and that's really it to be honest. The Wii U gets a 0, the PS4 gets a 1, and the Xbox a major 2. Now luckily, the PS4 actually has a major feature, and that is PSVR, which is a virtual reality which has been seen as affordable yet very fun. The Xbox One, on the other hand, has two major features that the PlayStation and the Nintendo do not have, which is PC crossplay and Xbox Connect. But let's just say PC crossplay, because to be honest, who really talks about the Connect anymore? After all, it was a major failure after release and was soon discontinued. But even if we did include PC crossplay, it wouldn't stand up against PlayStation's VR, which in fact was very good at its time. Though the Xbox One is safe from this shaming zero, as the Wii U has no originality from its previous console, even the Motion Plus, the main controller, not having any differences. Alright boys, now you can see right now that so far for the 4 categories, looks like Wii isn't doing too well, and it's only got a 2. And compared to the Xbox and the PS4 tallies, it's automatically 3rd place. So I don't want to see your face again. Anyways, so far on the tally, Xbox has a score of 5, and PS4 also has a score of 5. Now, it is a tie right now, but we need a tiebreaker, which luckily I have the last category, which is online play, to determine a winner against this draw. When we're talking about online play, we're talking about freedom to online play. That means that Xbox and PlayStation are compared to PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold. But the problem is that both are basically the same. Both require you to pay for it, which in return give you exclusive games, extra discounts, and extra storage. Now we have to compare it in one more topic that I really like, and that's the price. And this will finally determine the winner of this stupid war. Nah, goddamn, I swear, if they cost the same, I'm gonna... God damn it, they cost the same. Wait a second. Get on my magnifying glass. Enhance. 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 Enhance one more time. There it is. $79.95. And guess how much Xbox Live Gold costs? $80. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. PS Plus is 5 cents cheaper than Xbox Live Gold, which means PS4 takes the crown. In conclusion, this war is very stupid and very unnecessary. It's all based on opinions, to be honest. If you want more family related stuff, then the Wii U is good. If you want more gaming related stuff, then the PS4 is good. It's all based on preference, and to be honest, I think this war should have never existed. And if you think the Xbox One or the Wii U deserved more favor, well, you're wrong, because PS4 is superior and will always be our God. Worship the God. Now, Sony, now I say that your console is good. Now, give me money. Give me money!
Oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang. Spin 2 robots on new chains. Minecraft play, stay in your lane. Why did the guests have to go away? Shout out to the guests that got thrown away. But you know the bacon hits are here to stay. Oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang. Oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer gang, oofer